Hello friends, and welcome to Ink Woven Enchantments. I'm Heather, and if you're looking for a cozy space where we talk about crafts, books, magic, and more, you've got the right gal. So excited to finally share this channel with you because I've been planning it for a long time, and I think it's going to be really, really fun. I'm Heather, and I am an avid reader. I knit and crochet. I like to do diamond dot art sometimes. I'm a big lover of my cute fluffy dogs that you'll see, as well as my kitties. And I'm really just super stoked to finally have a place where I can talk about all these things. I also am a witch, and so we'll definitely be talking about witchcraft, but mostly through the lens of books I'm reading and or books I'm writing. A lot of my books that I am currently working on, like stories that I want to tell, are magic related, but not necessarily about magic themselves. So we're going to dive into all of that as we go, but I just wanted to share that ahead of time so that you know. So why did I want to start this? Well, honestly, I consume a lot of content, and I felt like it was time that I started making content to give back to the space, to share my own opinions, and to connect with more of the community. So that's what I'm here for, to keep learning, to keep growing, to keep connecting, and to share my true loves with the world, because honestly, there's a lot going on right now, and it's nice to have a place where we can come and talk and chill. What could you expect? Well, I know that a lot of people say that if you're getting started on YouTube, you better be doing at least weekly videos. And I also know that people are saying, like, long form content is gone, focus on the short form. For me, I'm just creating what I want to exist in the world. So I don't know how often this will be. I don't know how often it will be long form or short form. I'm just here to have a good time. So there's no set schedule, but I can guarantee every video will be unique and be about one of my passions in the world. And so hopefully you can come along too, and you can share your passions, and maybe I'll pick those up along the way. Okay, so I wrote this one down, so I'm going to read it from my own words directly, but I really want to make sure I emphasize this next point. Before we dive deeper, I want to share this important PSA. This community is meant to be a safe, welcoming, and inclusive space. I will not tolerate harassment of any kind towards me or anyone else, even in the comments. That means no attacks about race, gender, sexuality, religion, spirituality, or politics, or anything that could be used in a way that might harm another person. No dead naming, no shaming, and no bullying. Period. I'm a bi woman. I'm happily married. I lean Democratic, and I'm also a witch. So those perspectives are gonna come through sometimes. It's absolutely okay if you don't agree with me. Or if you don't like something that I made, or you don't like an opinion I have about a book I've read, or even the fact that I've read a certain book. That's fine. What's not okay is attacking someone for disagreeing with you. If you can respect each other, then you're welcome here, and I would be so excited to have you. If not, you will be blocked and deleted, and I'm not joking. This is Ink Woven Enchantments. It's meant to be a safe and inclusive space for all. And I want it to stay a place where we can continue to celebrate the things we love. Crafts, books, stories, and more. Okay, hopefully that's the only time I have to say that, but I will be putting a full description of everything I just said, plus additional details if needed, in the pinned comments as well as in the channel description. I really mean it when I say this is going to be a safe place for all of us. So in my next video, I'm planning on doing a wrap-up of everything I've read so far this year. I've read quite a few books, and I'm well on my way to my 36-book challenge. But for this video, I thought it'd be helpful to talk to you about what I'm reading right now, or what I've recently finished reading. Because wow, have the last 2 books I've read been really good. So the last book I read was Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. It was phenomenal. When I say that, I truly mean it. Not only did this book come to me as a recommendation from some of my current friends, but it also came to me from a dearly departed friend who passed away earlier this year. And they pressured me so often to read this book because they truly knew I would love it, and they were right. It is one of my 5-star reads of the year. It was so fantastic, and I highly recommend it. Project Hail Mary is about a story where it's the end of the Earth, but not for the reasons you might think. The planet is cooling off because the sun is losing its luminosity, which is weird because it's not supposed to die like that. It's not supposed to die and get smaller and dim. It's supposed to explode and encompass us. That's what's supposed to happen at the end of the world, like in real life. And so the scientists of this planet, this fake planet Earth, this alternate dimension Earth, are on a mission to figure out what's going on and why. And they figure out that it's this thing called astrophage. And astrophage is basically eating up energy directly from the sun. There's a lot of science behind it. It's pretty cool. I love the idea of this new species that's able to eat sort of this energy from the sun. And anyway, it's fantastic. What happens from there is truly an awe-inspiring adventure about how to save the world at the end of the world. There's funny moments and jokes. There's hard moments where you want to cry. There was at least one moment where I almost threw my book at the wall because I didn't want bad things to happen to this character. It's truly one of my favorite books I think I've ever read, and also if you're a nerd, it's real nerdy. There are definitely times where I geeked out on the language used and how things were developed, and also on the musical aspects. You'll get it when you get there. It's such a good book. I really loved it, and I really recommend it to anyone. The second book that I recently finished just this month was Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This was recommended by a fellow YouTuber. Can I say fellow YouTuber already? I've only just started. Anyway, she's much bigger than I will probably ever be, and that is totally fine, but her name is Haley Pham, and she has put this book and this whole series as one of her top series of all time. So I thought I'd give it a try. I jumped into this book not really knowing the genre, knowing it was probably some sort of fantasy romance, but not knowing much more. It's an enemies to lovers kind of story. I don't know. It's a little confusing. It's truly a fun read. I read it in like a day, and it was fantastic. Immediately following the read, I was like, oh yes, this is a 5-star book. But then I got to thinking about it overnight and the next day, and the more I thought about it, the more I put it down at like 4.5. I don't think I'd recommend it to everyone. It's not nearly as well written or as inspiring as something like Project Hail Mary or some of my other 5-star reads in my catalog, but it was still a really good time. And I would recommend it to anyone who likes fantasy romance and is okay with some tropes. There were definitely some curveballs thrown at me throughout the story that I really appreciated as well. And there's a little mystery. There's a little, I don't know, a little espionage. And it's quite fun. So I definitely recommend that to people who are into fantasy, okay with something a little bit more YA and not quite adult. Although I've heard Holly Black now has an adult series that I cannot wait to start reading. I don't actually think I'm going to finish the rest of this series. I think I'm going to transition and read her adult book because we kind of almost get there in the YA, and I just want to get there. Those are the 2 books I've read recently. I just started to read Kristen Hanna's The Woman, and this book is intense. Like, I'm on chapter 6, and this might be a do not finish for me. I'm going to try and persevere through it because it was a recommendation from my grandmother about how she felt about her time as my granddad was in the Navy and she was with him. But man, already 6 chapters in and it has gotten deep and dark fast. It's very real. It's very beautifully written. It's definitely making me anxious, but I do want to understand my grandma more deeply, so I might continue to read it. I'm not totally sure. After I decide what I'm doing with that book, I am also going to pick up The Will of the Many. This is the new James Islington book, and I am so excited. This one's not super new because the second one's about to come out. I already pre-ordered it. But this first one is going to be a new trilogy that he's writing, and it's YA. It's I think it's going to be like at a university. I'm not totally sure, but he's really good at having multiple characters and some political intrigue, and I'm really excited to dive in. One of my top favorite reads of recent years has been his other series. And it wasn't necessarily that each book was really, really good. It was that the third book tied everything in so well. And that is really hard to do with a book that has some time manipulation aspects to it. So my hopes are really high for this next one. I hope that he does the same thing that he did with his first, and he really makes it absolutely fantastic to read beginning to end. Obviously, I won't know that for a little while since the second book is just coming out and the third one's clearly not done yet, but I'm very excited to give this a shot, and so that's definitely next up on my TBR. Alright, so that's all I have for today. If you would like to keep up with me, I'm in so many places. For reading in particular, I'm hanging out right now in 3 spots. I don't know if I'll keep all 3 up, but I have Storygraph, Fable, and this new place, Pagebound. All 3 are useful for different aspects. Storygraph I love because I was able to import my entire library and get to catalog whether or not I read everything, and it just really like the interface. It's made by women. It's fantastic. Fable is really, really good if you like joining book clubs. So I might start one there. I'm not totally sure because I'm really terrible at sticking to book clubs, but it's supposed to be fantastic. So I'm trying it out. I've put all of my books that I've read all year in all 3, so it's worth a shot. And then Pagebound, Winry, go get it. Pagebound is really new to me. I just found out about it on Instagram earlier last week, I think. So I created an account, and it's supposed to be more like a combination of Goodreads and Reddit, which is really interesting. And so lots of people are posting their thoughts like when they reach a certain point in the book where they have something to say, but they don't want to say it to the whole internet, and they want to make sure that everything is spoiler free for people who want to be spoiler free. They also have some really cool different rating systems, which is actually why I changed my rating for Holly Black's book, because I was able to better understand really for me, the enjoyment was super, super high, but everything else was like, okay. And so that's really, really cool. It's such a different way to like look at everything. Each different platform has their pros. They have their cons. They have their different ways that they communicate with the other users on the platform about your feelings and your emotions and the way you connect with people. If you want to keep up with my crafty stuff, I post all of my completed projects over on Ravelry. And then I also have Instagram and TikTok where I'll be posting small little videos. Most of the time they might be semi-related to work if you're on my TikTok, but at least on my Instagram, they are 100% just me having a good time making crafty and bookish content. So you can follow me on all those places, pretty much everywhere. I'm Ink Woven Enchantments, but if you can't find it, look in the link for all of those. Look in the description for all of the links. Thanks for joining me today. May your TBR be magical and your stories enchanting. Until next time, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you later. Bye!